Okay, so I saw that Miss Smarty actually asked a question. She was like, "Well, maybe you should make a guide, kind of instructing women, younger women about so like when is the appropriate time to have an abortion." Um, and I heard her, and then it like. I think that my views here are so radical. Like, I think, and I'm not saying this to be funny, I'm just talking about from like data, from things that I've been kind of like watching this issue for a while. But here's my current view. I honestly feel like all black women in America should have abortions. Like, I don't think that any black women should have any American babies at all. I think all black babies should be born in Africa and have African citizenship. That, like, I believe even if your like family is in America or whatever, I think you should, if you are thinking about raising a family, you should do that in Africa around other black people. I think that race is a bigger issue than anything else. I think that gender, social class, upbringing, hobbies, all that shit. Like, I really used to feel very optimistic, about the way that, however I saw my personal, like, character traits or something, like they were bigger, like they were more important. And I just think that, like, over time, like, the more I've been like socialized in this society, it's like clear that's not the case. It's just, that's bullshit. It's just complete horseshit. But then, like, it did bring up a good question. It's like, okay, so like when is it okay? So like, let's just say that you don't go that far, because that is a very radical extreme view. But like, okay, so like, when would be the other times when you'd be like making this decision? Because here's the thing, I honestly don't think, especially for most black women, I think they already have a certain amount of discernment when dealing with all men, just because like it's just so clear that so many men are just out to like abuse us. Like, all of them are coming across as abusers. So if any woman is in a relationship with any man at all, and especially if he's a black man, she, like, in some way she believes that like this man is like safe, is like trustworthy, is just like has some positive intention for her. Like, I don't know what could have made her believe that, but I think that if she's around him, that's what she believes. And my issue with that is that I think most of the time, especially for like 90% of black men, there's some ulterior motive. Like, they don't like black women. I don't know. There's not like two sides of it. There's not like a flip side of the coin. Like, on Tuesdays they do that. No. Like, look at the data. Every single thing points to me being right, but not like kind of right, like seriously fucking right. Like, the thing, it's been so hard to like to like sit with that point of view and have it be like, no, I'm sure and I'm serious, because like no other race of men feels that way. Like, every other race of men like seriously, genuinely understands that their women are there for like reproduction and families. Black men don't feel that way. So, okay, so then that means that a pool of, so I don't know how to put it. Like, the women are there to be like mothers and raise families. And I feel like from a very young age, I started to, I was definitely like a person who was like raised to be like feminine, like motherly, things like that. But then all these things in society just like really push back. Like, for instance, I think I've told this story before, but when I was growing up, my mother made me, like, she would just dress me up like a little Barbie every day, and I would consistently get comments like, wow, you're so pretty for a black girl. Like, oh my god, that dress is so pretty for a little black girl. Like, this society doesn't know what a black woman is. They can't comprehend in their minds. Like, it's not, so you can wear a million dresses, you can, style your hair, do all the things that you want to do to become feminine. And there might be some internal, like, you, if you are female, you're feminine because you like are, right? Like, you are just biologically like female, right? But like, I'm talking about like being femme presenting, like you're wearing the dresses and you're like doing the makeup and you're, going the play, like having these, like, and I think that's great. I don't even think that Black women should stop doing that. Like, if you're into soft life content, fine. I'm talking about, though, a step further from that in terms of like marriage rates, birth, and reproduction. That is something else. And I think that the really strange thing about this too is I feel like people can, or society, media, People magazine, I saw something about like Coco Jones and her engagement ring, and there's like 3 Black women who are getting married publicly. They keep trotting around like Sierra and Rihanna and Coco Jones now, and I just think that those women are not good. They're not good representatives for the community, right? Like, it's like 32% of Black men in America are married to anyone, not just married to Black women, to anyone. Of the whole group, 32% are married. That should tell you more than like the proof is in the pudding. Like, you don't need me to explain this to you. Like, go look outside. So I think that then there's other things too, because I do think that a lot of men, just because they realize that they are not able to reproduce and they need a woman to do that, they will probably come to a point where they are like, ooh, well, okay, I don't want to just die off. I don't want my lineage to end here. Like, you typically come to that conclusion eventually. But like, you just don't want to be the woman who's like his scapegoat when he realizes like his likelihood of having progeny is slim to none. Like, the whole point of kind of this, race, it's not even a race to the finish line, but there is kind of a timeline on it. Like, everyone is going in like a pretty linear, I don't want to call it a race, because I'm not trying to like really make it seem like everyone is competing, but kind of, though, like kind of, as in like the timelines are there for a reason. And I've said this before, I think I wrote it, and maybe I'll like publish this into some piece where you could actually read it. But when you're in high school, like usually by your high school senior year, like if you're just like, a regular girl, as in like you're not like morbidly obese or like super weird in some way, that's like the prettiest that you might ever be. Like, in your whole, like the senior photos tell more about genetics and beauty and youth than really anything else. There's some things that you can do if like maybe in high school you were just like so strange, and like your family was just so poor or something, or just some really strange thing that kind of made it so you were not that. But still, I don't know what that would have to do with like your beauty, right? Because that senior photo is still kind of like representative of like you're like just almost done with like puberty, like you're the youngest, but like you're like old and young enough at the same time. There are some, I guess you could do it again with like your college graduation picture, but that's like 18 and 22. Like, those are milestone markers. And I think the very strange thing about this is like the conservatives are saying the exact same thing that I'm saying. Like, they all got married pretty young. Like, if you really are about that life, and I'm not against that. That's another thing. I think people always, not people, but I do feel like some of the people who are, berating and degrading the pro-choicers, right, the pro-abortion women, they're trying to make it like, I am not a woke leftist who's saying like, I am against the Christian church, I am against like 2 genders, and I am against marriage and children. No, like, no, like, I'm not against any of that. What I'm saying is that like the people who are into that and are doing that should participate in that, and everyone else should not. And I think the part that is like heartbreaking or something to too many people, where they're not understanding the reality, especially in the black community. Only 32% of the whole community is participating in that, right? So that means, like, what is that? 68% of like everybody else is not participating in that. So like you have to realistically talk about like strategies of like what you can do, especially as a woman, and how you can maneuver society given that that is not a reality for us. And I it's like I almost hated and loved um what Lucas said about the socks. Like, it isn't that all women are socks. It's that, like, I guess these men don't understand that, like, like women are trying to find themselves as well. And, like, not everybody is trying to find themselves under a man. Some women are literally just, like, going through society, especially black women. Like, just let black women who are not your wives, who are not your sisters, okay, who are just, like, living in the world, live in the world. They're not your socks. Not all of them. Maybe some of them are. But, like, it isn't all of them. And I think it's just pretty delusional. And I saw, there's a couple women who've actually written about this. Like, men are out here talking as though they have access to all these women. Like, every man believes that, like, all women are, like, a couple days away from being in a relationship to them. And that's just not true at all. Like, for very particular, there is definitely, you know, a key for every door, we'll say that, but like whatever kinks or preferences particular women have, like, that's what their preferences are. Their preferences, though, are not every man. So, like, I think it's really funny because some people, like, you know, love to laugh at the drug addicts or whatever, you know, the miscreants, the dudes who live, like, off the grid. But those dudes typically have, like, some women who like them. I don't know, I can't describe why she does, but whatever reason she does, she does. But then, like, it's not going to be every woman. Like, I don't think that the, you know, the matcha coffee girlies are going to go for that guy. In the same way, if you were listening to, like, the recent Drake interview with Bobby Althoff or whatever, he was saying that he likes goth girls, or, you know, and it was like, that's interesting. And everybody has their type, okay? Their type isn't your type. Nobody's type is like every man living. So what that literally means is that there's like a filter system. So, like, for even any relationship to happen at all, like, the man would have to be like, oh, I'm interested in her. And then the woman would have to be like, oh, I'm interested in her too. And maybe some sex happens and then someone gets pregnant. Now, the point is, like, I do kind of feel like I understand a little bit more about the no sex before marriage thing. And I think this just has to do with, like, the Christian nationalism of it all, because they simply care about, like, reproduction and population rates. But outside of that, you know, if you're just talking about sort of male-female relationships, which are a part of society, they just are, some of them are going to result in, we can call them, like, unplanned pregnancies. And there just has to be real conversations about what happens then. And, like, listening to so many conversations about, like, criminalizing women who have abortions, talking about putting them in jail, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's just, I do think that some states will pass laws that do that, but I think that in response to that, women not only have to be, like, celibate, women have to be like, far away from men. Like, we have to create two polar opposite societies, because you have to eliminate the possibility of pregnancy so that you don't even get, like, that option, that can't be an option anymore. So, like, yeah, you can't have any casual relationships with men anymore at all. And that's the situation that we're in now. So you can't actually have conversations about high value this and low value that and, like, pretty this and pretty that. At this point, the conversation is actually about male and female, splitting the genders, and any interaction that is coming from a male-female interaction, if there is any sort of possibility of birth in America, The conservatives want you to keep the birth because the birth rate is so low. They don't have enough people. But like, and for women are just like, absolutely not. Like, you can have an abortion and go on with your life. You just can. Everyone else can be mad about it. They can feel their feelings about it. As a person who's had 2 abortions, I can tell you, like, you know, maybe sometimes I think about it, like, I definitely have the dates on my calendar when those babies would have been born, and sometimes, you know, I think about it, but I don't know. I don't cry over the fetuses. I don't, like, I have pictures. I took the pill, and with the pill, you just like you like pee out the, you don't pee it out, but kind of, you have kind of like a period, and the clump of cells, you know, comes out. And I took a picture of it. I still have the picture. I think I actually made it the album cover for Abortion Barbie. But I don't know. Like, to my core, I feel like those children did not need to be born in this society. I feel like it is not just unjust. It is like an act of cruelty to birth black children in America. And that's just how I feel. It's like a core belief. Like, I think that black men are predators and murderers of black women. And I think that the other men in society have dehumanized black women to a point of no avail. Like, no one is coming back from this. Like, everyone has, like, done their due diligence. They've, you know, everybody has, like, made it clear where they stand. And none of it is, like, to create some, like, nurturing multicultural environment, right? Like, DEI died because we don't want diversity and we don't want inclusion here. We want divisiveness and segregation, and that is what we shall have. Everyone asked, and now they shall receive nothing. Like, black women owe nothing to this society. I couldn't care less what white women do. Have abortions, don't. Have as many children as you want, or don't. Like, I couldn't care less. What I do care about is, like, the future of black mothers in Africa. That's it. Like, so my, I guess, I don't know if that really answered the question, but I hope it did help some. Like, yeah, I think like all stars need to be aligned in order for a black woman to not have an abortion if she gets pregnant. Like, I think not only should you definitely be married, you should absolutely be married, but, like, you need to, like, look at your husband and know that, like, he would die for you. And he would, like, not that he's just, like, wanting, like, because I think that's another thing that's, like, an incomplete conversation, especially in the black community. There's this, like, promotion or this false ideologue of, like, well, he wanted the child, like, that's enough. That's not enough. It's not enough at all. Obviously, all of the conversations around, like, the whatever people believe is a high value man is simply about having enough income to support a family. Like, women can't take half of the burden for you because they can't. Like, and black women, we've just done so much. Like, we don't have any more free time to, like, we don't have any more emotional labor to give to, like, to society. Like, there's no, and also another thing, I really think that poor black women in America shouldn't be procreating. That you just shouldn't. Like, especially poor black women in America, like, you just have so much work to do in terms of, like, therapy and healing, unlearning, entering civil society, matriculating and connecting, communicating with black people from other different social classes, with white people from other different social, like, you just have a lot of learning to do outside of parenting is not the skill that you need to flex now, if that makes any sense. I don't know. And another thing I think that's very interesting, I don't know if other black women realize this, especially poor black women. Like, the society is set up to steal your children and put them in jail. That the way that the society is structured right now, it doesn't matter if you have the best intentions, if you're the nicest, if you buy them things, if you try to give them an opportunity. The system is set up. There are spaces reserved in society for your children to be the ones in prison. That's the way it is structured right now. Like, they need you to birth children so that they can take your babies and put them in prison. Because entire cities and counties are run off of being prison guards and being hospital jail workers. Those are checks that are guaranteed as long as you keep producing children that are going to prison. So I don't know. I think that realistically, the only way forward in America for the black, like, I do think that there are some black people who want to remain in the country, in America, and I think that that's fair. But I think the only way to enable like everyone to like live out their choices is for black women to stop. Like, black women have to stop giving. You got to stop. You've given too much already. You gotta really take a break. So you got to stop giving birth. You got to stop giving energy. You got to stop giving relationships. You have to stop giving money. Like, you've got to take all of the resources that you've been providing for free, take them away so that society moves forward without those free resources. And everyone who was getting those resources from you, stealing them for free, can now go pay in the economy that will be built around them needing the resources and not getting them for free from black women. Then black women can then take their energy, their money, their resources, their time, their community, and invest it in ourselves. By investing that time and resources and energy and money and all these things into ourselves, we will actually build and grow. That's it. That's the solution. Like, that will work. But that is hard, but that will work. But that is hard. That's hard. Hard. Cutting off toxic family members, fucking hard. Cutting off, like, saying no when men are predators on every fucking corner and getting away from them, and learning to survive economically in society when these men hate you. Wow, that's really hard. It's hard. It isn't easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but let me tell you, it is not easy at all. But that is the requirement. Do with that what you will. I don't know. It's not nice. It's not like, it isn't nice at all. It's not like pretty, and it's not going to be easy, but I do think it's like the only way forward, honestly.